So now we're gonna go into small groups, into groups of 3, and share maybe where you're coming from, what brought you here. And a loose prompt is, what is your relationship to water? How does water show up in your life? What is your relationship to flow, to moving with fluidity? And what are the water bodies, water beings that are closest to you? Maybe you want to bring them into the conversation. So for this breakout room, it'll be around 10 minutes. You'll have a chance to connect with 2 other people in the group and share a little bit about yourself and your relationship to water.
Hello. Yes. We are doing that. I'm here with Sierra.
Oh, nice. It's so nice you're all together.
Yeah. Just one thing before we go, we are having translation in Portuguese, in Hindi, in Spanish. This is also the invitation for speakers, and if you are in a breakout room with someone that speaks another language, let us know. And the invitation to slow down a bit because we're trying to bridge worlds. And this is the idea, the path that we've started here doing language justice. And we are really grateful for our translator volunteers, Yeyo, Joao, Samar, and Meghna, that will do it later. And so thank you so much. Now you can go to your breakout room. You'll be back in 10 minutes. See you soon.
Yeah, nice to see you all back here. We're happy you got a chance to connect with at least one other person, and hope you got to tap into your relationship with water. And yeah, we hope to carry that through the conference. And from here, we're going to shift into relationship with spirit, or relationship with that which is beyond us, and invite some prayer and ritual from people coming from different parts of the world. So for this next section, yeah, we're going to invite a few people to share prayers and rituals. And Ecoversities being a global alliance, we often have prayers and rituals to start our celebrations, ceremonies, parties, gatherings. So without further ado, I'd like to invite first Maria.
Olá,
Hola.
Coema, bom dia. So, hi guys, I'm here to help her with the translation. She said good morning, everybody. Coema é uma saudação na língua tupi. Coema is saying hi in the Tupi language, which is Tupinambá ethnicity here in Brazil. Eu sou uma indígena mulher da linhagem ancestral Tupinambá aqui do sul da Bahia. She's an indigenous woman from Tupinambá ancestry here in the south of the state of Bahia in Brazil. E eu vou oferecer canto que inicia nossos rituais. She's gonna offer chant that starts the rituals here. E esse canto eu vou oferecer em tupi, na nossa língua de resgate. O povo tupinambá foi dizimado por grandes violências desde a invasão desse território que a gente chama de Pindorama, não chama de Brasil. She's gonna offer this chant from these people in the language of her people that was very touched by the arrival of the colonizers, and yeah, that's it. Não preocupa com isso não. E Disseram que nosso povo tinha sido extinto, mas somos só aqui no território onde eu moro. São mais de 8.000 indígenas da minha etnia e estamos aqui levantando uma nova aldeia que é uma ecoversidade intercultural dos povos.
So people say that we were extinct, but only here where she lives, there are around 8,000 people from her ethnicity. And we are starting a new community of this ethnicity here in the intercultural ecoversity of the peoples.
Então, para eu estar aqui, eu primeiramente reverencio todos os que vieram antes de mim, minha ancestralidade, e reverencio também a ancestralidade de todos que vieram antes de você.
So being here, she honors the ancestry, her ancestry that came before her, and she also honors the ancestry of all of you that are here.
E eu vou começar, vou oferecer para vocês um canto que tem milhares de anos e que eu tenho certeza vai fortalecer todos nós.
So this chant has thousands of years, and she's sure that it's gonna strengthen all of us.
Jasi ayande jasi mepeo iambetapa tupo urushi isape iambetapa tupo urushi isape iambetapa ise asa ise jasi oi peixe bom ise asa ise obito bom ei ambe shawabi ise asa ise obito bom ei ambe shawabi ama baeta bama ama pawi beta ama baeta bama ama pawi ama baeta bama sabatu pinamba awere tupa awere. Esse canto é um canto que pede saudação ao sol e para nós é o nosso Pai Tupã, que tudo protege, tudo acolhe, tudo aquece.
This chant is of an offering to the sun, which is our father Tupã, that protects us and gives it all to us.
A nossa Mãe Lua,
And it's also an offering to the moon,
que
our
nos
mother,
mostra a visão além da visão.
that shows us the vision beyond the vision.
E nesse canto também pedimos proteção para nossa terra, nosso território ancestral e nosso território corpo.
We also, in this chant, ask for protection to our land, our territories, our territory body, and our territory as a land.
E dessa forma recebemos as bênçãos para que a nossa caminhada seja fortalecida.
And in this way, we get the blessing so that our journey, our walk, path on this land can be strengthened.
Hoje eu estou aqui, era para eu estar conhecendo a nossa aldeia também.
I was supposed to be here also today with Maya, an ancient woman, old woman from also our community.
Mas a luta dos povos originários do Brasil ele é incessante. Chega uma hora que o nosso corpo físico sente.
But the fight here in the native peoples in Brazil is non-stop, and there is a moment where our bodies feel.
E ela hoje ficou doente, mas eu não estou aqui sozinha. A força dela está comigo e a força dela está com todos nós, com vocês também.
So today she got sick, but she's not here alone. She's also here with her, Maria, and her strength, her force is also here with all of us, all of you.
Porque na nossa tradição, os anciãos são os mais importantes da aldeia.
Because in our tradition, the old people are the most important in the community.
Então, agradeço, em nome da minha etnia, em nome da minha ancestralidade, essa oportunidade de estar aqui.
So I thank you all in the name of my ethnicity and my ancestry, this opportunity to be here with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maria, for the wisdom and the chant and for deepening our connection to the elements and calling in the situation in Brazil. And thank you. From here, we'll cross the waters and invite Sarah to join and offer a Sufi chant.
Thank you, Dan. Okay, so I would like to also thank Maria, and I want to first of all mention that I'm here with my two children who are both under 10. I have a 6-year-old and a 3-month-old. He's right here. And what I'm going to be chanting is the chant that we open our meetings. I'm part of a Sufi order, which is a Sufi community that I've been part of for the past 8 years. And our sheikh is actually from Sudan, and speaking this right now, I would like to send peace prayers to Sudan. And yeah, what Sufism is basically bathed in love, and it has offered me this opportunity to view God as a loving being, as opposed to what I've been socialized into as a child. And what I'm going to be chanting is in Arabic. I apologize for not giving a translation for that, but it's basically what we open our meetings with every week. In fact, tonight we meet. It is 3 p.m. here in Cairo, and our weekly meetings are at 9. So I will speak no further, and I will start the chant. Forgive me if I don't sound like a professional singer. Yeah. Salawatullahi ta'asha da'iman للنبي المصطفى جليل حسين صلوات الله تعشى دائما للنبي المصطفى جليل حسين خيرة الله من الخلق أبي بعد جدي وأنا ابن الخيرة من له جد كجد المصطفى أحمد المختار نور ظلمة من له أب كأب حيدر فارس الخيل ورامي نبلة من له أم كأم فاطمة بضعة المختار قرة كل عين والدي شمس وأمي قمر وأنا الكوكب ابن نيرين صلوات الله تعشى دائما للنبي المصطفى بالحسين من له أخ شقيق كالحسن طيب الأخلاق مبسوط اليتيم من له أخت كأخت زينب بضعة الزهراء بنت الأكرمين من له ابن كابن بينهم يدعى بالسجاد زين عابدين صلوات الله تعشى دائما بالنبي مصطفى جاد الحسين فاتحة الشيخ محمد عثمان عبد البرهان شهيد الله لهم منا الفاتحة اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. Thank you, everyone. This is basically a chant in praise of the family of Prophet Muhammad and who the Sufis believe that is the source of all things. The light of the Prophet is the source of all things. So I honor the light in you and the light you bring here today. And I honor you. Thank you for this invitation.
Thank you so much, Sarah, and so beautiful. I'm really moved. I see a lot of hearts popping up and filling the room, and yeah, thank you. From here, we'll invite Malku, who will share a prayer and a song with us.
Muy buenos días.
Yes.
Muy buenos días. All blessing for all people. This is the big and many love country. It is Ecuador. Todo el amor, todo el cariño de esta tierra sagrada del Ecuador. Agradecer profundamente esta iniciativa de reencontrarnos, porque todos aquí juntos estamos queriendo dejar una buena huella, un buen sentimiento, una buena acción para las presentes y las futuras generaciones, porque todos ya nos dimos cuenta que de alguna manera esta forma que ya nos ha puesto un ropaje, una piel encima, no funciona. Ya sabemos, hemos visto nuestro planeta cómo está en esta crisis y ahora es el tiempo de que nosotros sigamos expandiendo y abriendo nuestras conciencias para seguir estando al servicio de la vida. Así que agradezco esta oportunidad, implorando al Gran Padre, Pachamama, Ñuque Mapu, Chau Mapu Chau, Apunchikyaya, Amarun, el de los 10.000 nombres. Estamos todos unidos en ese rezo por seguir haciendo una buena historia, dejando una buena inspiración para las presentes y futuras generaciones. Así que agradezco a todos estos hombres, mujeres, abuelitos, abuelitas, niños y niñas que estamos aquí para seguir recordando la memoria. Que sea un bello tiempo de tejernos y sobre todo que tengamos la inspiración para ir a la acción y no quedarnos solo en las palabras, que tengamos la sabiduría, la guía, el entendimiento para poder concretar cada uno de estos sueños de una nueva educación, en donde podamos vincular la educación con la inspiración que nos dejaron nuestros antepasados, que podamos conectar nuevamente con el alma, que podamos conectar nuevamente con la belleza, que podamos nosotros desde nuestros corazones poder seguir haciendo un bello camino. Así que agradezco a este sueño, a este encuentro en todas las naciones, de todas las direcciones, y que podamos seguir haciendo un bello tiempo. Pachamama es grande, Pachamama está en todas partes, somos unidos, no hay separación, y eso es lo que nos une ahora aquí a todos. Que este tiempo sagrado sea un tiempo bello y que podamos seguir saboreando esta textura, seguir tejiéndonos bonito y que podamos de verdad hacer esa transformación que soñamos para nuestros niños, para nuestros hijos, para cada una de nuestras relaciones. Ahomi Takuyo Yasin. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Melku. And Melku shared a song with us that he pre-recorded, which we will share now.
Agua floridero anguna Sinche sinche arcanita, volaremos balconata, voltaremos a nimio anguna Tranquilito, toco el cuerpo, yo escocito y sanaremos. Chuya, chuya, guaira, guaira, toco el cuerpo, yo escocito y aliranda, irandin, dairandin, Rosas y sanguitas, sinchi, sinchi, medicina, Rosas y sanguitas, sinchi, sinchi, medicina, Tranquilito, toco el cuerpo, yo escocito y sanaremos. Chuya, chuya, guaira, guaira, coronampi, cuerpoicito, punta yaqui, aliranda, irandin, dairandin,
I want to pop champagne, but they want to block my one very kilo vessel. I want to pop champagne, but they want to block my way. Hey, back to sender, yeah.
Les encanta prende el kiwa y toco y malaguna Brilla, brilla, corona, mi cuerpoicito, punta yaqui. Brilla, brilla, corona, mi cuerpoicito, punta yaqui. Brilla, brilla, corona, mi cuerpoicito, punta yaqui. Aliranda, irandin, dairandin, Brilla, brilla, corona, mi cuerpoicito, punta yaqui. Brilla, brilla, corona, mi cuerpoicito, punta yaqui. Brilla, brilla, corona, mi cuerpoicito, punta yaqui. Aliranda, irandin, dairandin,
Wow, so beautiful, Moku. Thank you so much for the prayer and the blessing and the song. And lovely to see you with your beautiful family. Thank you so much for being with us and sharing. And up next, we will have another share, the final share of this part of the ceremony, which will come to us from South Africa. And unfortunately, Ketiwe was unable to join us in the ceremony, but she shared a video.
The time of our calling into the waters, into the great mothers that want to guide us back in the comings of her nature, in the agreements of her and earth when she decided to make us. It is time that our intuition runs wild as the wild women that we had let go, who we no longer visit in the spaces that we come from, the lands of our forefathers, the lands underneath our feet, undefined, the lands unnamed, the lands that do not choose whose child belongs to whose father. Intuition is a woman's psyche. It is like the divining instrument, like a crystal through which one can see through uncanny eyes. It is a vision of the wild old woman who lives in the rivers, the lakes, the dams, trapped, unknowing how far she was supposed to go. But through the storms we see, through the cyclones and all that they have defined as destruction of the water, she reveals herself and she shows that her operation has never just been inside the planets of the waters. She comes through even in our dreams. She comes through even in the running waters that we open from our taps. She is, because she lives inside of us. Intuition is what we should do to access her. We dedicated storytellers are always off some under some hill, up the knees in the stories of dust and droplets and evaporations. We call under the moon, we call under the suns, abomthawelanga, through the centuries of digging dirt, digging under the overlays of culture and conquests, numbering a very frieze and fresco. Sometimes portions and details are missing or they're robbed out. Often in forms, in intacts, in colorings, we are destroyed, but it's a portion of us that we no longer need. Shedding through the waters, releasing, shedding through the trees, the mountains, the isidulu. We should return to these spaces, for these are the very spaces that ancestral memory lives and calls to us, to call upon her, to be her, to release our waters, our comings, our orgasms with Father Earth.
Yeah, a beautiful storytelling with the land from Ketiwe. And we can share her heart, share her our love, even though she's not with us. Yeah, it's such a beautiful reminder to let go and connect. From here, after all these beautiful shares and openings and invitations for connection, we will transition into a few announcements to help people to navigate the conference and to feel more grounded. And I will pass this to Eileen and Andrea to share a bit about some resources and tools that we have available.
Hello. We want to share with you that Salo will introduce us to the welcome kit. We shared some days ago the welcome kit that you have in your email. If you don't have it, let us know. That is an invitation, because we have over 70 panels, like more than 170 speakers. There will be panels, conversations, main like rooms to share something specific, games. We have playgrounds. We will have music. Today we have a party. So this, in the welcome kit, you can share.
I'm going to share
We
you the
can,
screen.
yeah. In the welcome kit, Sala will give us like a quick tour around what is it, because you have it on your email.
So this welcome kit includes these different sections. The first is greetings, self-care tips, agreements, proposals, invitations, and the part that I want to share with you is the tools to navigate the conference. So you go to page 6, and there you can find exploration compass that Marco, a friend, a really good friend from Mushokawai Ecoversity here in Ecuador, made for us. So he made this to know how to explore the conference through this exploration compass. Also then shared as a session mapping, session reflection, and the schedule that you can find. Also be aware of the symbols that we put about sessions in Spanish, sessions that will have translation, embodied, butterfly talks, and the film festival. We also open these relational spaces, and maybe Eileen wants to take it from here so we can talk about the Mighty Networks, where we're going to have this forum place.
Yeah, so in the spirit of relationality and helping people connect more directly. We really hope that everyone here makes some new friends, collaborators, people that they can dream with. And so we have both a WhatsApp group, which maybe people have been a part of. That's been something we've had for a couple of years. And then the new space that we've offered is a platform that we hope offers more space for like deeper dialogue and groups to be able to form more organically and connect and then get to know one another. It's hosted on Mighty Networks, so we might call it the Mighty Network space. There's a link in the chat, so please feel invited to join. It's also in the emails. And we really hope that this can foster, this will be available for many months, probably many years if it goes well. And we really just see the value of, creating open forums for people to connect and discover one another. And we hope that that fuels more, learning experiments that really meet what our souls are longing for and know that they need to become the culture that we desire. So, so great to see folks here today, and let this be the beginning of lifelong collaborations and relationships.
Thank you, Eileen, for that. Also, like a final and important announcement from this. We are in the path now of language translation and language justice. We have now speakers that are in Portuguese, translators in Portuguese, in Hindi, in Spanish, and the invitation is to be aware in the rooms that you are. It's an invitation for all of us to hold this with us, because this conference, the deep intention is to bridge worlds. So we put more attention now to language, and we have beautiful and a lot of volunteers that are offering their time for this beautiful service to the conference and to this idea of bridging worlds. So if you can, the invitation is that in the sessions that you are, if you're a speaker, please try to slow down a bit. And if you are an attendant, also try to see where the translators are. Maybe they are doing some signals. They will be like to slow down or to speak up. You can just help out with something on the chat or something to help out to communicate on this Zoom space. And yeah, that would be the last thing.
Yay!
Yeah, and one final announcement is around self-care. And given that the conference is virtual, in an ideal world, we could all be together in a shared space. But we are here with what we have, and it's also beautiful that we're able to connect from so many different places. But given that it's virtual, we're going to be on the screen in front of the computer for a long time, especially people that are attending multiple sessions. So we want to encourage self-care. And this could look like maybe closing your eyes when you're in a session, if you're just listening, or getting up and walking around instead of sitting, or lying down and listening without looking, or stretching, as Sierra is so beautifully modeling down there in her little box on the screen. Yeah, we can all maybe stretch and know that it's okay if you have your eyes closed, or if you're not there in front of the camera. Know that it is okay, and that we invite and encourage self-care. So whatever that might mean for you, we encourage you to listen and follow your inner wisdom on that, and drink lots of water. Obviously, in the welcome kit, there's a few tips or few invitations for each of us to take care of ourselves. And from here, Katerina is going to guide us through an embodiment activity relating to self-care and relating to our relationship with our chairs, our relationship with what we are sitting on. So we invite you all to take part in this embodied activity if you feel called to do so. And from here, Katerina, would you like to join?
Yes. Hello. Hola a todos. Hola, hola. So I am actually cheating. I am right now sitting on a bouncy ball, which I highly recommend for everyone. It is quite fun to be sitting on a bouncy ball while being on Zoom calls. And it's quite nice for the spine as well. But since many people are normally sitting on the chair, I wanted to invite everyone to play a bit with how you can sit on a chair and how it doesn't need to be something that just compresses your lower back or makes you sit in really straight position in perfect 90-degree angles. So wherever you are, it doesn't need to be in the chair, but I will, as an example. Sit on your chair. I will slow down. Thank you, João. So you can sit on your chair. I'll put mine high so you can see. And first, just analyze, kind of observe how it is that you normally sit. What is your default? So do you tend to have the weight distributed equally on both butt cheeks, on both legs? Do you have arms on your chair? Do you have a back on it? Do you have pillows? Does it feel soft or hard? Do you have both feet touching the floor or not? Do you tend to sit with one leg up or two legs up? Just first observing what is the default. I like seeing that someone else is using a ball while sitting at home office. And now let's play around a little bit. Actually, also I can sit sofa as well. So you can play also on your sofa if you are, or sitting on the floor. Sitting on the floor is also absolutely great. So let's play a bit. Let's try to sit with all of our body on the chair. So I have now both feet on where the butt is also supposed to be. And I try to make myself as small as possible inside of the seat of the chair. And now I do the same, but sideways. So if I have a back, it's now on my side. Oh, mine is also a rotating chair. Also fun. You can rotate yourselves. And now I will sit with my belly, the front of my body facing where normally my back is facing. It can be slow, so it's not dangerous. Ideally, the chair is close to the floor if anything goes wrong. Now, if I have a chair like this, if I have space, I will put my knees on the back of the chair and see how it feels. And if you feel safe, you can lie down as if the place of the butt is the place of the back and vice versa. For a bit of abs work. And if I trust my chair, I can actually just lean back and have a nice back stretch. And the neck stretch. And if you open your arms to the back, it's also a nice chest stretch. I cannot see everyone, so I cannot make sure that you don't fall to the floor. You check always how safe you feel, okay?
Too late, I fell.
No, Camilo, no. Are you okay? Is everyone okay? Yes. And next, I put again my feet where the butt should be. And I'm going to hold on. I can hold on to the place of the arms or hold on to the seat of the chair. And I'm going to lift my butt. So I'm going to stretch my legs. And this is a very nice stretch for the back part of the leg. And then I relax my neck. Of course, you can also do this on the floor, but that would be, normal and boring. And if you want extra stretch, you can release your hands if you feel safe on your chair and just hang there for a little bit. And slowly you can come back. And the last one that we do now for this 5 minutes, you choose an awkward position on your chair, a way that you never sat on a chair before. I want to see many different positions on these little squares that I'm seeing. I see many feet. Wonderful. If you have a desk, you can also use the desk. I mean, why not put feet on the desk and stretch in the middle? Super nice stretches. Touching the foot to your head is also always great. Oh no, Ciara fell, but she's laughing, so everything is okay. Okay, so I hope it was fun. And I hope you remind yourselves that this you can do at any point, even if your camera is on. It will just entertain everyone. Whether you are on the chair, on the floor, on the sofa, sitting up is always great. Just standing up for a little bit. If you have standing desks, even better. So maybe keep a post-it close to you to remember to move during these wonderful days of reimagining. Thank you.
Thank you, Katerina. So fun, so fun. We're reimagining everything here. Everything is education, the way we sit in our chairs, the way we drink our drinks, the way we do each and everything. We invite this element of questioning. How am I doing this? How is this happening right now? Can this happen any differently? And exploration and experimentation. Those are qualities that we invite into the space. And from here, we're going to shift into hearing from a few elders in the community. And they're going to share a little bit around what and why reimagining education is needed. So first, I'd like to invite Safura into the space.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you. I have my hair all untidy because of Katerina's. That was a lot of fun. Reimagining sitting in a chair. Thank you, everybody, to all the organizers of this really wonderful conference for inviting me. I'm going to just speak a little bit about my own research on education through the framework of nonviolence. And I'll go into a little bit about Gandhi, but another very important movement that people don't really know about was very much focused on education. So I'm just going to go into that just briefly. I don't have too much time for details, but just sort of giving pointers to how within the framework of nonviolence, which I think is often misunderstood and is conjoined with peace education, but it's actually, if we think of our framework, the normal framework, as one that has violence central to it, then non-violence is positioning itself not just in opposition to that, so negating that in the non, but positing a different framework altogether, an anarchic kind of framework altogether. So reimagining the whole human condition, in other words. And education is central to that discourse, but education is also central to the discourse of oppression, of colonialism, of domination. So both the discourses are one of resistance and of the oppressors, you know, the pedagogy of the oppressed, if most of you probably are familiar with that sort of classic text, speaks about the centrality of education. And both the oppression is justified and the resistance is justified in the name of the human. I'm sorry, was that a comment or is that just somebody? It's justified in the name of of fashioning a new kind of human. So either the civilizing mission of colonialism justifies it in the name of the modern civilized human, and those that are oppressed justify it in the name of being dehumanized, and they need to become fully human. But the concept behind it is that we are not fully human yet. The human has to be shaped. It needs to be cultivated. It's in a time zone. It's a future-oriented goal. It's not something that is present with us already. It's something that education will bring about in order to bring about a new kind of society. But if you look at this discourse on education, it's actually a very utilitarian kind of discourse, right? It's the education is a means towards certain ends. And whether those ends are liberation or oppression, it's still utilitarian. So can we reimagine that discourse of education and the term human, which is very tendentious, right? Because it always implies that you're not quite human yet, and education will bring that about. So I think those kind of central ideas of education need to be closely looked at as well. And I'm going to give a quote about Gandhi, because this means ends justification, the framework of nonviolence is trying to transcend that, right? It's trying to say that the ends in themselves, the means in themselves are important, not the ends. The ends will take care of itself. That's a quote from Gandhi. So one of the largest nonviolent movements that happened at the same time as Gandhi's movement, and Gandhi has a huge amount of literature on education, but he didn't actually open up a school system. Whereas this nonviolent movement that happened at the same time as Gandhi was started by Abdul Ghaffar Khan, also known as the Frontier Gandhi. And he's called the Frontier Gandhi because it happened in the northwest frontier of British India. That's a cartographical designation that the British colonialism gave to that part. Sorry. So the Frontier Gandhi, I think, did you guys hear the Frontier Gandhi part, or did I get muted before that? So the Northwest Frontier province is now part of Pakistan. It's called the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. It borders Afghanistan. So it's that part of and one of the reasons for the fact that this is not a very well-known history, there are several reasons, but largely because it was a Muslim nonviolent movement, and it's, you know, the stereotypes surrounding Islam do not allow for that kind of representation. But Abdul Ghaffar Khan started a school system called the Azad Madrasas. So Azad Madrasas is a free school system. and free in the sense of not just cost, but free. Azadi also means liberation. So free in that sense of freeing a decolonial kind of endeavor. And it was a vernacular school system, especially geared against the British colonial educational system. But initially it was created to change the society itself, not as an anti-colonial movement, but to reorient the society against valorizations of violence, and especially to liberate women from patriarchal norms. And so women's education became central to that call. So not only the women themselves were asking to be educated in the name of becoming human once again, but the movement itself constantly emphasized women's education. There's a phrase that reoccurs constantly in the literature, and it says the mother's lap is the first madrasa. So please don't get thrown off by the term of madrasa. Madrasa just means school, not terrorist training grounds in any way, shape, or form. So the mother's lap as the first madrasa sort of precedes the idea of an established school system. The Azad madrasas that Bacha Khan or Abdul Ghaffar Khan, his vernacular title is Bacha Khan, he established throughout the province. And they, like I said, were in opposition to the colonial system, but it was a school system as such. But this call that the mother's lap is the first madrasa, this call was a recognition that there is a materiality to teaching, which a school system does not account for, and which a mother and her child, that relationship is crucial to creating this new human that they wanted to create, essentially. And so this Abdul Ghaffar Khan calls Asli Talim, real education. Real education comes from this exploration of what it means to be human, rather than this shaping or cultivation of what it means to be human. So the mother becomes the container in which you can explore her child's innate intelligence, so to speak, rather than trying to shape it through a school system. And so I want to sort of point to the cruciality of this, this concept of it's a slight shift, but it's a real crucial shift of if one thinks of the human as fully formed already, and to create containers where you explore that. And the container is not one of just of space, but also of time, because you need to allow certain amounts of time for that flourishing to get expressed, or that natural organic process to get expressed. It can't be done at a certain timetable or on a certain schedule, or because of our busy lives, we want to do it in a certain way. So this Asli Talim, I'm going to read a quote from Abdul Ghaffar Khan's autobiography just to explain what he means by that. And he's talking about the revolution that he is seeking, the nonviolent revolution to create a new kind of society. So he says, revolution needs scholars and intellectuals, but alongside with knowledge, there must be a desire and a motivation to create a revolution. And how is this done? People must first be freed from their demons in order to create a change in consciousness. And so these demons that you need to be freed of are the socio-political norms with which they grow up, in which violence is okay, it's valorized, it becomes heroic, and so on. But the crucial aspect is the change of consciousness. And education has to be geared towards Asli education. Real education has to be geared towards the change of consciousness if you want to bring about a revolution. And this is, of course, steeped in Sufi kind of mysticism as well. So you let go of the ego self; those are your demons. And then once you are open and freed from those demons, then you can connect with the sacred. And nonviolence was looked upon as this sacred connection with the divine. Then you can bring about a new kind of society. You can bring about a new kind of change.
about one more minute, please. Sorry to
So
interrupt.
I'm going to just wrap up with a quote from Maria Montessori. And I'm bringing, that seems like a disconnect, but the Maria Montessori was actually very heavily, her philosophy really heavily was influenced by Gandhi, and Gandhi's by hers, education philosophy. They had a close connection together. Maria Montessori also spent many years in India. And she wrote The Absorbent Mind in India during the war years, where she was interred by the British government. And Gandhi, when he talks about education, he says real vital education. And in a speech he gave at the Montessori conference in London in 1931, he says the law of love can best be understood and learned through little children. And of course, Maria Montessori always talks about certain ways and the material ways in which children must be educated, right? It's not just through knowledge systems, and it's not the teachers that are teaching, but the child that is teaching us. And so I'll end with a quote from her book, The Absorbent Mind. It is not the transmission of knowledge that is required. The consideration of the human personality alone can lead to salvation. If salvation and help are to come, it is through the child, for the child is the constructor of man. The child is endowed with an unknown power. This is an affirmation of reality and strikingly mystic at the same time. So this unknown power is actually what Maria Montessori was trying to explore, and the Asli Talim was trying to explore through the process of acknowledging that the child already comes fully human. He doesn't have to be cultivated, or he or she does not have to be cultivated to become fully human. Thank you
for sharing with us. Let's just take a few seconds to let that settle, let that land. And there's a few people asking if you could put the quotes in the chat, if possible. And yeah, as I think, before moving on, I just want to share something. As we navigate, I think we already are getting a feel there's going to be various kinds of sessions happening: ritual, embodiment, more speaking, many forms of engagement. So we're going to be hearing a lot of different perspectives and views, and we invite people to share their views and perspectives. And if there is conflict, we invite people to engage in conflict in respectful ways, and yeah, honor that people hold different views, and see if we can together grow deeper through this engagement and not grow further apart. So please just keep that in mind through the conference. And up next, I would like to invite Barbara from the University of Peace in Costa Rica.
Yes, good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for inviting me to this wonderful conference. My name is Barbara LaRue Troy, and I am the daughter of Narvi LaRue of French ancestry and Bunny Eichelberger of German ancestry. I was born and raised on Cheyenne and Arapaho lands. I have been at the University for Peace studying Indigenous science and peace studies. And today I invite you into a ceremony of just sharing. As you see the lighting of this fire of sage, it is for the clearing of our space, for incorporating. Just imagine it going all around your computers and around yourself, cleansing yourself. As we begin this ceremony. And at this time, I call in our ancestors, the great mother of the universe, the great spirit. And we come together to celebrate and to learn from other worlds and to listen to ideas, share ideas, and integrate ideas of the future.
निमंत्रित करती हूँ नए नए विचारों के साथ
to integrate ideas of the future of reimagining learning. As we take this moment, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, centering yourself into this moment and this presence with great gratitude to the sun, the moon, the sky, the stars, the trees, the plants, all the animals, all the humans, all the non-humans, as we give gratitude and love to our planet Earth. Before manifestation, before sound, there is a movement and an evolution of the earth. As we imagine bringing forth our gifts into the collective body of knowledge, we give thanks. Remembrance through dreams, dreaming of a new vision, of learning within the emerging new paradigms of life and love of Mother Earth. We dream together for healing through diversity in knowledge systems, relationships, and gifts of the imagination. Bringing forth the gifts of art and music and the vibrations of thoughts and words as a part of sending love and healing to Mother Earth and to each other. Knowing and unknowing, we begin the movement of a dance in this new paradigm, and we hold hands and help each other in love and courage as we step forward, reimagining education. And so it is. And thank you to the learners, the dreamers, the storytellers, researchers, activists, and amazing humans. Let the miracles begin. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Barbara, for your share and for connecting us back with the smoke and the invocations. Thank you. And from here, well, again, take another 15, 20 seconds to let that wash over us. And from here, we'll invite in Orland Bishop, who will also share with us.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Greetings, dear friends. Truly, truly, it's an honor to join you in community as we acknowledge what we have learned about ourselves and the world and what inspires us to share it in new and imaginative ways. Thank you, Katharina, for the embodied movements of life in the chair. As simple as it could be, it invites us to understand the seats that we take, the positions we take, the forms we take, and how we express ourselves through them within any context of cultural life. Sephora, thank you as well for the understanding that peace is still in progress. It's not yet achieved and finished. And we all can play a part in the hospitality that makes peace possible. Barbara, thank you as well for the invocations to remember that there is an invisible world within and around us, and we share some complexities that natural perception alone doesn't always give us. I'm speaking to you from Los Angeles, the traditional home of the Tanva people. My original place of birth is Guyana in South America. I live here now and find meaning in the ways that I navigate, still learning what is my service space towards world becoming. And I'm invited here to just reflect a bit around the ceremonial mind, the mind that allows us to keep asking into ourselves guidance. Because if we don't know that we are here for a reason beyond self-interest, then we have to entertain in mindfulness some other kind of reality. That I'm not here because of something that I bring to life, even though we bring ourselves into life through our heritages. But we also came to take up something. And this is really what I'm asked to point to, that we have inherited many, many, many facets of our identities. And in doing so, it's changed us in some ways. Sorry, a little allergy this morning. It's changed us in some ways. Our inheritances are still trying to become conscious and focused and in a way creative in us. But this one power, this one thing that we know is certain about ourselves is our attention. The ceremonial reality of the human life begins with attentiveness, and the child gives it effortlessly, creatively, with full dedication that if I give something of myself, I would become part of this larger ecology of consciousness. And this beautiful giving of attention risks being corrupted by all that we would inherit, all that will become part of our existing life, and could posit in me a crisis in which I have to relearn and relearn and relearn how to come back to myself so that I could keep giving attention at a level in which the ceremonial wisdom, the creative expressions unites with the good intentions of others and create an ecology that invites the larger world ecology, nature, and cosmos into our thinking and feeling and will. So I'm saying that this form of intelligence is a ceremony in the making of worlds. And we choose allies, partnerships, different constructs of thinking to guide us into what our will could be able to do. And it's not always right, not always correct, but it can be corrected by the very one thing we give always is attention. Attention heals, attention allows the integration of the complexity of our time, and it brings us into truly world becoming. Pardon me. So, in deep trust with all that we know, all that we have, all that we could do, the trust is at what level of intention, not just attention now, but intention can we choose to share. So attention becomes intention at a certain point in awareness. And in my intention, this truthful, self-conscious act puts me within reach of something new between me and others who could find the agreements for what our mutual attention and intentions could co-create. I'm describing something that doesn't have content and is not important that it be content filled right away, but just the context. That we are always in the possibility of a beginning of something creative if we choose to give attention without prejudice and intention with some deeper interest in what my and your intention together could become. And this, I feel, is within reach of our civilization, that we all have inherited things that could be considered mistakes because some other generation, our ancestors, have made them, and we inherited them for a purpose, some deeper purpose, some higher shared purpose. We chose our ancestors, they have chosen us. And we could choose each other. That's my work. At what level of choice do I make our relationship trustworthy enough to invest everything that I can invest out of my own will and choose you not as my ancestor, but choose you in a very different context of my own becoming. So if I choose you now in a way that allows what my ancestors couldn't do in their time, I'll fulfill all that they have chosen me to bring to this world. And maybe between you and me, we could agree that the world is not finished and is not a mistake because our attention can correct it. Our intention can choose each other for a higher purpose of beingness that allows all the diversities of our inheritances to find appropriate context for the ceremonial awareness that we could give each other everything that our ancestors didn't give us. And what a world that could be in educating our consciousness to be able to be hosts for the part of us that now must carry the past, the present, and the future in a way in which there is no judgment, but the effort that the infant child makes through their attention to join us in all that we know and have every day, everywhere, some person is born and choose us as community, as village, as civilization. And they do it because they believe in our capacity to change. The infant child believes in our magic, our wisdom, our creativity, and they merge their freedoms with ours and become like us. And we hope that we could educate them to be more than us, so that they will keep choosing to bring into this world all that they had been divinely inspired by to come and bring. So the ceremony is beyond just the physical realm, because we know other beings come into this realm through this profound innocence, conception of life, towards love, towards light, towards becoming, and we want to join that. Everyone wants to join what love and light and life could become. We do it effortlessly at the beginning of our lives. It gets harder as we mature because we realize the world is not finished and we have to actually give so much more of ourselves. And so my context for speaking into this community today is to just express encouragement that we are navigating a lot of mistakes that have been made before our time and even within our time, and yet we are here reimagining how to become ourselves for each other's future. And with that, I want to say congratulations to all the prior efforts that we have given ourselves at the task of carrying, so that we might be here in this feeling of trust to communicate what we will share in this conference and beyond this. And thank you everyone for being you at this time in the world, because this is like the biggest gift. There's no other one like you. And I know that that is not a mistake at all. And so I celebrate it and acknowledge that there is some reality to come from us being ourselves and being with each other in ways that allow more of creation to continue to express. Thank you so very much for the invitation to join in this really, really remarkable experience, and the blessings to the continued time together.
Thank you so much, Orlin, for such a beautiful, uplifting, encouraging message and pearls of wisdom.
Thank you.
So again, we'll give 15 seconds or so to let that wash over us, maybe to share gratitude, feel gratitude, whatever might be arising for you. And from here, I will pass it over to Sierra, who's going to lead us in a short exploration.
Thanks, Dan. Hello, everyone. I'm Sierra. It's so great to see all your faces. Thank you so much, Arlen, for that. And everyone else who has shared so far in this beautiful ceremony. I'm very moved. I'm grateful to be here with all of you. I just wanted to, take a moment to zoom out a little bit and I'm curious if people will be willing to raise their hand for those of you that are familiar with what Ecoversities is, what kind of where this conference came from, if you've been around for a while and you kind of know why we're doing what we're doing here. Raise your hand if you've been around and you kind of know what's up. Cool. All right. And then put your hands down. And let's see hands for those that are new here, who maybe, found a link on social media, or your friend sent you an email and you found yourself here, but you're like, I have really no idea what's happening or who these people are, but this is cool. Okay, wow, that's a lot of hands. All right, thanks for playing. So with that, I wanted to just, I could sit here and be like, I'm one of the conference organizers, so I'm going to tell you what Ecoversities is and what the conference is, but that's no fun. And that's just my perspective. And in reality, what we've come to find, this is our third year doing this conference, what we've come to find, kind of, there is a core group of us that started the conference, but it has changed and shape-shifted, and the space has really taken a life of its own in so many ways. So many people have shown up to volunteer, to support, to help out, to offer translation, tech hosting, writing, caretaking, so many different things. And sorry, I need to go slower. Thanks for the reminder. And really the space is becoming constantly. And so I wanted to open it up to crowdsource with the prompt. What is Ecoversities, first of all, and what is the collective intention of this conference? Back to what Orland was saying. We are all here with our attention, and there's something that's bringing us here, and there's something that we're intending together. And it's definitely not the same for everyone, but I'm curious to just open it up, open the space. You can raise your hand if you feel moved to share, just maybe in a sentence or two, what is Ecoversities and why are we doing this conference? What is our intention? Why are we here? Who are we? Why are we together? So with that, I'll just, open it up to anyone who would like to offer some words. Saying in the chat, Ecoversities is a source of humility. Nicholas says, growing together. Feel free to share in the chat or unmute yourself also.
Hi, can I speak?
Please.
Yeah, my name is Amor. I would say for me, is I am an unschooling mom, and I would like to maybe open up a school or something, but I feel like I haven't had in all these years, like 10 plus with my daughter, I had never had a network of support. And to me, it's like to meet with other people that are already doing things in the world, maybe inspiration, or, just to connect and just to get more knowledge and to see what other people are doing. So that's my intention for this conference. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Amor. Yes, a network of support.
I put in the chat, Ecoversities is a source of humility. A friend of mine who shared the link was also the one who used very strong words. I'm an academic, and so is she. And we both agree that a university is becoming an abomination, maybe always have been. And so it's a strong word, right? But it is a lot about elitism. It's a lot about who the custodian of knowledge is. And I came here, I had to set all of this aside. And it is a bit hard, because sometimes well, why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we doing that? Isn't that what we do in conferences? And I'm so glad this is not that, I feel like for me, Ecoversities is a place to be. Everybody here brought something, and it's just such a good place to be. So thank you for that. Thank you for the space.
Thank you so much, Lula. That's beautiful. And thanks for everyone sharing into the chat. So many beautiful
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Marco.
For me, Ecoversities is a poem, a song. It's a provocation or an invitation to join, to dream, to celebrate life, and also to reimagine existence, to enter in vulnerability and open up our hearts that have been molded by institutions and rigid systems. And it's a space when you can find a community, a family to reburn, to flourish in vulnerability, in humility. As Orland Bishop was saying, is this place to becoming and to share, intimate the path of renaissance. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Marco.
Hi. Can I share?
Hi. Yes, for sure. This will be the last share because we're running out of time, but please go.
Okay. I just wanted to say that I'm here because of a professor like Barbara. I'm also at the University of Peace, which she's not here right now, but I am here in Costa Rica studying peace education. And I am a public school teacher for almost 30 years in Los Angeles, California. And for me, Ecoversity is looking at just education as a whole and seeing that it's related to what everyone said today, but like shifting the way we believe that we have to educate and seeing that everyone has something to offer and that it's so important that we begin to connect and share everyone's offerings. And I'm just so excited that there's a community here of people doing it because that's how it's going to shift. Right? So like to bring the energy here and kind of start to trickle out and literally shift the paradigm of the way we live and the way we've been trained that there's a right and a wrong from the, the oppressive system. So thank you for having us and for hosting this. Appreciate it.
You're going to be seen, I guess.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, do I put my hand up?
Yeah, you put that in.
Wow, thank you all so much for those beautiful shares. I'd love to keep going because I know it feels like it's bubbling out of everyone here. But feel free to keep sharing into the chat. We'll definitely collect all of those responses and put them together somewhere. That was incredibly beautiful. And with that, I just wanted to make a note that we are 2 hours into this ceremony, which is the time we had allocated. We do have some more beautiful gifts coming up. We're definitely behind on time, which happens in Ecoversities quite often. So if you do have to leave, we totally understand. Lots of love, lots of hugs. We'll see you around the conference. If you can stick around for a bit longer, please do so. We have some more beautiful things to come. And yeah, with that, I will pass it over to Dan to introduce our next pieces. Thanks, everyone.
Yes, thank you, everyone. And I think through the conference, we'll continue to learn what Ecoversities is and what we're doing here. I think it's a continual question and intention that we're collectively growing into. So yeah, as Sierra mentioned, we're nearing the end of this opening ceremony, and we like to end with celebration and performance and some music and poetry and creativity. So up next, we'll have 3 folks that are going to share some of their art with us. Then after that, we'll go into a bit of a closing before transitioning into the next thing. So first I'd like to invite Ichuni, who is going to share a song with us.
Hello, good morning. I'm Ichuni Sugimoto I'm studying in UPeace and peace education. Okay. I'm from Okinawa and what I'm going to share. And I came to study peace education because I'm interested to like how to how to do succession, the like world history to next generation. And as I listen to like many stories in this opening ceremony, I also remember my yes, my hometown Okinawa and also the nature. And so yes, and then yeah, I think also like because also in Japan we do peace education, but it's not very connected to like our like ordinary lifestyle. So I think reimagination and in the education is very important. So I'm so very looking forward to learn from this conference. And then now I'm going to sing and play with ukulele. One song that I like. This song is like very, how can I say? It's like, I feel it shows the importance of the like small happiness in our ordinary life. And it shows also vulnerability, but I feel it's also strong. This is a Japanese song, so I will put the lyrics into the chat. I'm not professional, so please listen like you listen the children, your child is performing. Okay. もう少し大丈夫になったら大きな猫が飼いたいのさらに少し大丈夫になったら小さな犬も一匹飼いたい家はそんなに豪華じゃなくていい不便なことが一つくらいで散らかるくらいがいい嫌なこともだるのにあなたにすべてを打ち明ける嫌われないかと不安だよ今日ももう少し大丈夫になったら次の日雨でも落ち込まなくなるからもうさらに少し大丈夫になったら綺麗な靴でも照れたりしないのかなくだらない誓いを立てて意味のない指輪の 交換でもしよう。人に傷つくようなことはまだ。少しだけ大丈夫になったらいいとは毎日思っているんだ。本当は今でも涙が出そうになるけど、笑わないでいてこの気持ち、コンパクトミラーにときめいていたい気持ち、少し大丈夫になったら大きな猫が飼いたいもん、さらに少し大丈夫になったら小さな犬も一匹飼いたいな。Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Ichuni. Share your love, share your applause, whether with reactions or notes or claps. Thank you, Ichuni. Yay. Lots of hearts and wow, Devin is pouring hearts on his screen. I don't know how he even did that, but that's incredible. So beautiful. Thank you. And I love the I'm not a professional, listen to me like you would listen to your kid. That's such a beautiful invitation. So from here we will invite Marcella, who is going to share with us some of her poetry. So Marcella, here you are.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, yes.
Hi, everybody. Thanks a lot for the invitation. My name is Marcela. I'm originally from Venezuela, currently living in Germany. And I mean, my poems are not directly about reimagining education, but they're touch upon things that I think I think are important considering when reimagining education. So I'll be reading 5 poems, but they're really short. I'll be reading 3 in English and 2 in Spanish. And the first one is called Because I Think in Words. And this one was written at a time in which I was really tired of hyper-intellectualization. So in Germany, everything is a lot about intellectualizing as the only way or as the main pathway of learning. And all other ways of learning are really not so much on the agenda. So I was kind of fighting with words. I was done with words. I didn't even want to talk anymore. I just wanted silence and touch and smell, but no words. So this is where this one comes from. So, because I think in words, and with them, I've built my world. At times handy, these little ones. At times so scary, I could not stand. Words, what have you done of me? Of this world? When did you overtake and who gave you that place? The place to rule and judge, right from wrong in quasi-absolute terms. Oh, words, was it you or was it us who turned some cultures into pus? Words, you're just a means, don't forget that realities are yet to be met, in which your preeminence is no longer so. But despite that, through you we sow. For all you've done and helped us walk through, oh, lovely words, a new place awaits you. P.S. Expect a divorce letter from my lawyer. So that's when I was like really pissed with words. Yeah, then I have another one called Tan Curtida. I wrote this one in Spanish, but it translates okay into English. And it's about the role of, aging and what that does to my perception and the way I receive information in a way. Yeah. So tanned from life, the sun, love, salt, time, lived to the marrow, worn out, incredulous. At every instant, a relentless quest to get to the root of the matter. That matter we call life. I surrender, I fold, I regenerate, I die. Each moment leaves its mark on my soul, face and skin, and I, just like him, look at myself in the mirror, tanned, consumed, marked by life. In every pore, every gray hair, every wrinkle, in every stain. Like an old fret, I look in the mirror. I recognize myself in this worn face, still searching for the ether that humbly regulates my degeneration. So that one's quite new, still a bit uncertain. And I have the last one in English, and this one is called Choosing Words. And this one, I'm all for. This was a bit of an annoyance that I have with some of these very important movements that are asking for inclusion and diversity. I think they're very, very important, and just sometimes a bit skeptical about the ways certain demands are being made, because what's happening around it, or at least around in the circles around me, especially with the LGBTQI community, I apologize if I forgot a letter, is that a lot of people are kind of, at least formally, tolerating them because of the campaigns and the discourses they're using. But for me, it's really important that diversity is not only tolerated, but welcome and integrated. And I feel that the way certain messages are being portrayed is not conducive to a genuine welcome. So this is me ranting about it a bit. So it's called Choosing Words. Choosing words carefully to reflect our views without revealing our biases. Is this even possible? Is it an aspiration of mine? Not sure, really. I mean, we all have biases, filters. We all view life through certain spectacles. And yes, these views can be challenged. The glasses can be artificially replaced. And all these new movements asking, demanding we become inclusive, unbiased, unfiltered, absolutely relative, are sometimes plain off. How can a limited being hold everything all the time, all at once as true? We need to differentiate so we can actually make sense of the world we live in. Okay, two more. Now starts with Spanish. This one is called Cuerpo, body, and it's about the role that our bodies, and not only our heads, play in life, in our life. So, cuerpo. El animal que eres yace escondido, sofocado por capas de lana para cubrirte del frío, resguardarte, protegerte, refugiarte por tanto tiempo. Se me olvidó cómo te ves, cómo te sientes. Veo tu reflejo como algo ajeno, algo extraño. Sé que te habito, pero no te reconozco. Inhospitables circunstancias me han llevado a persistir. Todos tus recursos abocados a la supervivencia de mis miedos. El miedo a no tener cómo alimentarte se ha llevado los recursos que necesitamos para sobrevivir. Cuerpo ajeno, cuerpo extraño, no te vayas, te lo pido. Quédate mientras aprendo tu lenguaje. Alarmas constantes. Las escucho y no sé cómo no alarmarme. Me debato entre el parar o acelerar a 1000. Te evado Espero reclamos, castigos, pero no me castigas, me pides atención. Y te doy migas porque no tengo más que dar. Cuerpo hermoso, te veo. Estoy trabajando para llevarnos de nuevo al sol. So that's about after lots of time of living in Germany without light. And the last one, this one is about my project that I'm working on called Darua. And it's called La Duda, doubt. La duda me enseñó a caminar de puntillas. No vaya a ser que deje huella de mi paso desastroso por acá. Afinqué los talones un par de veces, reafirmándome, pero por miedo al tiempo y al fracaso, caminé sobre los dedos hasta atrofiarlos. Se hizo cómoda en mí la duda, aún sabiendo que era en vano. Su lugar como guía se disputaba cada vez que mi pecho ardía, navegando la diferencia entre duda y prudencia. Fui gentilmente permitiéndome poner el pie completo sobre la tierra. That's it. Thank you very much for your time.
Yes, thank you, Marcela, for your beautiful poetry. And again, let's share our love in the chat with reactions, with claps. I'd like to see some visual clapping. It's so beautiful. And we'll have 2 sessions to explore poetry during the conference in the playground on day 1 and day 2. Before moving into our final performance of the ceremony, I just want to thank the translators who are staying a bit over time and translating for us. And I want to share that, if you want to take a rest or stop at this point, you're welcome to. If you're able to continue, it's wonderful and appreciated. We'll just have one final performance and then some closing notes before we transition into the first round of sessions. So for the final performance of this ceremony, I'd like to invite Mu, who is joining us with some music. Mu, are you with us?
Yes. Can you see me? Okay, that's all right. All righty,
It's
there we
quite
go.
dark, but we can see you.
It's all right. Okay, yeah, thank you so much. I'm very happy. It's quite adventurous thing to participate in this festival. I'm currently in a park far enough from human beings, I imagine, and on a mountain. It's a place of waterfalls, actually. It's called the Wentworth Falls, and it's part of the Blue Mountains. You look out over the mountains and it's just blue, and it's just outside Sydney. It's unceded land of the Gundungurra and Darug people. Yeah, so it's something like nearly 1 a.m. or something. Anyway, I thought to share a song that is deeply close to my heart at the moment, and it has 2 stories attached to it. One is that it was basically written when I'd made like a really human error of being late. And it kind of tries to express that moment after beating yourself up, where it's okay. You're actually like, okay, no, I'm just a human. But the song changed for me last year when the father that I had never met died, and I was notified of his death, and it was confirmed to me that he had spent decades living on the streets in Sydney. And the song is named No One to Be. And I think part of me, when I sang that song, or started to sing that song after that event, recognized and was kind of happy for my dad and I know I don't want to belittle, definitely I know it would have been terrible and hard to be, it's terrible and hard to be houseless, but there was a part of me that kind of identified or resonated with a sense of not having to be anyone. You don't have to be the dad. Yeah, so that's the song, and I'm going to play the song and hopefully you can hear and it sounds okay. I was trying to cry, but the tears wouldn't roll down my eyes. But there's no one to be anymore. I was trying to know, but I grasped at everything that did go, and I reached when I could have just sown. But there's no one to be anymore. There's no one to be. 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 There's no one to be anymore. I was trying to lie, but the words wouldn't get me on by. 'Cause the world becomes false as I try but there's no one to be anymore. There's no one to be. There's no one to be. There's no one to be anymore. And sometimes we hold on to hope, but it grows us closer, oh, closer to a rope. And the blues weigh us down, sweet. And we're trying as hard as we can. But it feels like there's nobody there. Oh, but there's no one to be. No. There's no one. There's no one to be anymore.
A lot of appreciation coming in.
Hello.
Hello, Moo.
What? Oh, that's love hearts. Okay.
Lots of love hearts and thumbs up and claps, and thank you so much for taking the effort, to share your music from a mountaintop at 1 o'clock in the morning. That act in itself is so beautiful. So thank you, Moo. From here, we're going to transition into the closing of the ceremony, and I will pass it over to Andrea, Sierra, and Saulo.
So thank you so much, everyone, for staying, for being here, for sharing your breaths and everything into the conference. We went a bit out of time schedule, so thank you all for staying. So just a friendly reminder, we have these, so you have your email with the welcome kit. There you can see how, like, two tools to navigate the conference. Please, these two, like Dan and Marco, took a lot of time to do this, so it's also a gift if you use it. It's also a way to curate the conference with some topics. It's not like mandatory. If you have other ideas, also will be good to share with the people that will be navigating the conference. So you have that, the welcome kit. If you have any questions, you can answer to the emails that we are sending. We are there supporting these spaces. We have also Mighty Networks. We may also open there a channel for frequently asked questions. We want to invite you to embrace the chaos of these days, the technicalities that we will be facing. Also, we had this idea of it's a tool, like Mercury is retrograde these days, and also channels of communication might be a bit messy. So we invite your compassion, your patience, to be here. We're here, we're doing the best we can, and sometimes it might be a bit messier, but we are doing it with a lot of love, and we are learning on the way too. So please share with us the mistakes, the things, the uncomfortableness. We love to have that, so we are learning together. What else? Something else that maybe Sierra, Salo, Eileen, or Dan want to add? Or
Any
Sierra?
questions? Any doubts? Thank you, everyone. The next sessions are coming up in just 5 minutes. So go stretch, move around, take a break, drink some water, take care of yourself. Don't overdo it. Everything will be recorded. Don't stress. Have an awesome, awesome rest of your day, wherever you are.
Yes, thank you.
Lots of love, everyone.
Lots of love. Thank you for translation also. Thank you, thank you.
See you in the session.
See you in the sessions. Yeah, see you.